Hi everyone, I am about to share the worst room in my house. And when I say the worst room in my house, I mean it was definitely the worst. It's not now, thanks to my wonderful husband, but it has definitely been a source of stress over the years because it was stacked all the way to the ceiling with everything that had nowhere else to go. Plus, it was laundry room, mudroom, we had tools stored in there. We also had all the kids' coats and gloves and hats and snow boots and all of that. The animal feed, you name it, it was in there. And it was so bad that my husband would come home from work and have to literally just kind of find his way through a maze to get into the house. So he graciously volunteered to build something for me to make it better. And of course that snowballed and he ended up building a lot more in there to make this room one of my favorite in the house. He did such a great job. So I'm going to share what our inspiration was, how I picked the colors, the fabrics and all of that, and I'm going to share some of the process to show him working so hard building this for me, and then I'll show the final room at the end of the video. So stay tuned y'all and see the worst room in the house become one of my favorite. I've always loved this little guest cottage on the property that used to sit behind the main house. It was moved to the edge of the woods, I'm assuming about 1962 or so. My parents used to watch TV out here when they were dating, and they married in 1961. This is where all the wood from the old house was stored when it was dismantled, and this is the wood that I've been restoring and installing in our house for the last, 15 years or so. And I can tell you, it has been a very daunting task to try to take all this wood piece by piece and restore it and find some way to fit it in our house, but so incredibly worth it to see it have new life. My great-grandmother stayed in here for a while, and it was her late husband who hung the pretty wallpaper and painted the blues and greens, which I just fell in love with. I love this built-in shelving so much, and I would have taken this out and used it, but I needed different dimensions. It definitely inspired everything that you're going to see in my room. I especially love the blue background, so I wanted to make sure that we used beadboard for the inside and painted all of the walls blue. Then my plan was to paint all the wood except for the countertop the dark green. Also, in case anyone is wondering, this is definitely not a case of arsenic green because it was definitely painted sometime in the mid-century, I guess 40s or 50s. I will have to ask my daddy to make sure about that though. But it's definitely not arsenic green. Okay, so here is the before, and y'all, this is just all I'm going to share. You can imagine the rest of it. Things were stacked to the ceiling, like I said. I mean, when you don't have room or storage, you do the best you can and you fill in those holes wherever you can, and that's what I did. I was really excited to get all of this stuff out of the room, but it had to go somewhere, so I moved it all out onto the dining table and all throughout the kitchen. There was not a surface that was not covered with stuff, but it really helped me to purge and get rid of what I really did not need to have in here. My husband had the plan of doing the shelving with the countertop on one side, and I, of course, just casually mentioned that I would put up some shelving over the washer and dryer myself by using some 2x4s, and that was the end of that discussion. Next thing you know, he was in there designing and measuring for something really nice and sturdy, and I am so glad I let him take the reins on that, of course. You can see here what he had in mind, which is so incredibly lovely. I was really excited to start painting, and I actually had paint ready to go that I had used in other places in the house. The green is Coriander and Olive by HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, and I had that mixed in Valspar Express Coat. And this is the green that I've used outside on my porch, on the shutters, and also on the columns. I love this shade, and I was so glad I had enough of it to use in this room. The blue is called Fog Blue. It's also a Valspar paint, and I had it mixed in Valspar Express Coat. in the eggshell finish, which is super, super affordable paint, and I actually love it. I have it in my kitchen, and I'm glad that I was able to use it in here because these two rooms are open to each other, so it's nice to have the same shade. So my husband also created shelving to go all the way around the upper perimeter because I wanted to maximize all of the space in here, and there's so many things that I can store there that I don't use often, so it really helps to keep the storage in here at a maximum. He is very meticulous, so he planned everything out with very specific measurements and got to work building all of the built-ins so they could just be put into place in the room. For the countertop, I decided to use the Rust-Oleum gel stain that I had bought years ago, but I'd never used it. I'm not sure why, but I just never did. And it was wonderful for pine, especially, which if you've stained pine, you know that it doesn't take stain well. This did great on this pine countertop here, and it was exactly the color I wanted. So I put a couple of coats of that on, let it dry in between, and then coated it with several coats of polyurethane. Now, y'all all know how important fabrics are to me in a room, and I had actually bought this Tebow Fairview in turquoise back in the summer for the fall kitchen, which I'm going to share next, probably next week here. Anyway, I love this fabric, and I loved how it combined the blues and greens, so I made a little skirt for underneath the counter in here, and I also made a skirt for the shelf over the washer and dryer, which hides the water connections and the electrical, and you'll see that in the reveal. Okay, y'all, I hope you're ready for this reveal. I'm so excited about it because I really feel like you can take any space and make it pretty and functional with some hard work and ingenuity. This was really a horrible room, but y'all, I so enjoy doing laundry in here or stacking up my canned goods, etc. I just love it, and I'm so incredibly thankful to my husband for his hard work and for seeing my vision and bringing it to life. I'll have a blog post linked below with photos, so be sure to check that out. And if you have any questions, you can ask them here or over on the blog. Thanks for watching, friends. I hope you enjoy my new pantry and laundry room.